Good afternoon, class. This is Mr. Strom here. I'm going to try and help you guys out with this automoblox assembly. I know there's a few videos out there that you've probably seen, and they may still not be as helpful as I would like them to be. I know this may be frustrating for a lot of you. It's frustrating for me from time to time, so thank you for taking the time to work through it and try your best. A few of the examples I'm going to give you should help you out. I'm going to post several videos on this type of assembly and try and steer you clear of some issues you may have. So this one's just going to be a general video on how you need to go about assembling things. If you want to start over, I know it takes some time, but you may be better off starting off the way I do. So here we go. Here's video 1 of probably 3 because I need to limit the size that I upload to YouTube. So here we go. We're going to start off with the automoblox assembly. I'm going to open up Inventor here. I'm going to select Assembly. So I've just opened up Inventor. I'm going to go to Assembly. We'll let it load here. Now I've already downloaded the part files, so if you remember in class we went over to files on your left hand side of your PLTW screen. It says files there. We clicked files, we went to student inventor files, and then you went to the T9 automoblox file and you downloaded those 20 odd parts or whatever they are. So once you've downloaded those and you place them in a file, I open an assembly. I'm going to go up here to the left hand corner and select place component. Now when I do that, I need to rummage through and find my parts. So I need to go myself, they're on OneDrive, and here they are. Here's the plethora of parts that we need. I'm going to go ahead and do the hold down control on my keypad, click the axle. Actually, I don't want that axle. Let's go down to the T9. Let's go to the second axle here. So I'm going to hold down control, select T9 axle. I'm going to go down and click the tire we need 4 of. I'm going to click the wheel. And those should be the 3 things that we need to have 4 of. So I'm going to release control on my keypad, going to hit open. Now we wait. There you go. So we see we have the 3 parts that I selected. I'm going to click once, move my mouse over, click again, and click again to make sure that we have 4 of them. So now this see-through one is on my cursor. I'm going to hit escape on my keypad to make it disappear. I'm going to zoom out and rotate a little to our front view. So there you go. Now we are in 3D. This is where a lot of you are having issues where things don't line up and all this and that. It's because we're in 3-dimensional. We're not doing a 2D sketch like we started off from before. Everything in this world is 3-dimensional. So we see we have our 4 rims, our 4 tires, our 4 axles. So now I'm going to go back up to place and I'm going to grab the rest. So I'm going to hold down control. Let's do the T9 passenger base. So I'm going to start off with the bed. Hold down control, select bed. We're going to do connector. We need a couple of those. We're going to do the front, the 1 block socket, the passenger base, passenger section. Go down to the 2 block socket and the windshield. So now I'm gonna deselect or let go of control, hit open. There you go. We see we have the rest of our parts. So I'm gonna click once and hit escape. Now we do need multiple of this second connector. We need multiple of this socket. We need multiple of the 2 block socket up on top. So what we're going to do is you can do one of 2 things. You can go back to place and just select those over again, or you can just right click those components and go up to copy and then just right click in free space and hit paste, and you notice now we have 2 of them. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that for the sanctity of showing you a few times. So copy, click off in space, paste. There you go, we have 2 of those. Need 2 of these and we should be good. Copy, right click, paste. Alright, we should have all 4 of our components here and be good to go, because we need 2 for each different section. So our next step, I would zoom in. It's going to help you guys out a lot if you use a mouse. It's just a lot quicker for your shortcuts and things like that, and to move throughout your view. So we're going to take the passenger base here. I'm going to orient our view like this. So I'm actually going to click bottom, zoom in. I'm going to right click on top of our little 3D box over here in the right side, and I'm going to click set this view as, or set current view as front. That way, yes, it's going to flip it when you go back home, but when we go to the front view, it's going to give us the front. We're looking directly into our passenger base and our back piece, which helps out. So our next step, we're going to right click our passenger base, and I would hit grounded. So you see down here that says grounded. We're going to click that. So that means this one can't move. A lot of issues people are having, they're trying to assemble things over here, let's say on the left hand side or in this front piece, and then bring them in. It's going to be difficult to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring everything to this first, just one piece at a time. So let's start off with this passenger base and the insert that goes into that. So let's double check on PLTW. For some reason it got big. There we go, we'll shrink it down. So I'm going to go under modules. If it loads here, I'm going to find Unit 7, Activity 7.4. There you go, Assembly Models. So I'm going to pull this up just as reference down here at the bottom, this photo, so I know how things need to be placed. Now it's a little hard to see how the passenger component goes in, the actual drop-in part, but we see the circle in the kind of upper left-hand corner. So I'm going to go back to Inventor. It should be placed in just like this. So we see the circle up here in kind of the upper left-hand corner if you were looking at it from the direction I am. So I'm going to zoom in slightly, go up here to constrain. What I want to do first off is I want to rotate my view and select the bottom of this insert. So we're going to do that. And you do have to zoom in quite a ways. This is also why your mouse is nice, because you can zoom in one click instead of having to change things over here. So we selected the bottom face, not just the edge, the actual face. We're going to come back to our base, passenger base, and now we're going to click the inside section where this needs to go. Now you heard that click. That's great. That means we have a solid connection. So just hit apply. Now we're going to select this face. See where the arrow is going, this face here. And if you know, they work in pairs and they kind of need to mate with each other. So now we're going to select the inside face of our passenger base. So now you see the arrows going out. We heard the click again. You see how we're getting closer to getting it where we need to. It's just a little off if we look at the top. So we're going to go ahead and hit apply again. Now we need to get it to slide this way. So I'm going to select this face. I'm gonna rotate my view until I can select the opposite face of the green passenger base. So see how we're nice and flush now? You don't have to hit flush, you can just hit mate and it'll work just as well. So we're gonna hit apply and hit cancel. See how we can't move this now? That's our goal. We want everything to be adhered to the passenger base. So step 1 is complete. We're going to zoom back out. You may be better off just going ahead and putting the windshield on right now if you really want to. That might help. So let's go ahead and do that. Get one less thing out of the way. Or one more thing to get out of the way, I should say. So right now it's oriented backwards from the way it needs to be. So I am going to click sorry, it's a little hard because it's translucent. Alright, I'm going to select constrain this back face. Now we need to find the joining side that we want to place our windshield on. So if we go back to our block here, we notice the curb part needs to be in front. Go back to Inventor. So if I know the curb part needs to be in the front, I'm gonna go ahead and for some reason I don't know why I can't rotate review, so I'm gonna go escape, constrain one more time. There we go. Move in position, select this inside face, and then we need to select the back face of our windshield. So we'll click here, and you heard the snap. Let's go check out, see what it did. So you notice it's inside and it's tilted to the side probably. So what I would do is I'd hit flush. Let's see what happens. So if we hit flush, it rights it back up. But you notice it's sunken in. So we don't want that. So let's go back to just mate, hit apply, hit cancel. Now we're going to pull out and see. So we need to flip it upside down. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to click constrain again. I'm going to click this face, not an edge. I'm going to click this face here. So there you go. We see it now. We heard the click. It righted itself up. We can hit flush. Nope, we're going to keep it as just mate. So just mate, hit apply. Alright, now if we hit cancel, so it can move only in one direction. Can't move up and down, it can just move this way. I'm trying to move the other way, it won't let me. So that tells us we're constrained this way and up and down, which is good, but we need to be constrained from this face to the inside face of our passenger base. So I'm going to go ahead and hit constrain, select this face, flip it around, so we can see the inside. Click, and it doesn't matter if you hit flush or not. I'm just going to hit regular mate and apply. So there you go. We had 2 steps down in a matter of about 14 minutes, and I'm being a little long-winded. So let's try and get one of these connector pieces, or in this case, we'll hit cancel and get out of there. There we go. So this is one of the sockets, one of the 2 block sockets. Let's see which socket we need to place in the front of our passenger base. So it looks like we need the rectangular one, not the square one. The square one will go in the back. Let's find the rectangular one and put it up front. So that's up here. Now the first thing I would do is I'd go ahead and grab constrain. We're going to zoom in and get this top face of our socket. I'm going to come around to the front and zoom in so you can see. I'm going to select this face of our passenger base. Now notice it's backwards. Let's see it hit flush and see what happens. So flush moves it the correct way. So we're going to hit apply. Now our next step needs to be to center this part. So what I would do is I'd go and I'd select this top face. And let's move it around so we can get the inside of our passenger base. I'm going to click the inside and undo flush. So see how we're kind of getting centered in there? Now we're centered this way. So go ahead and hit apply and cancel. Let's see which way it moves. So it moves back and forth kind of like the top did, but it doesn't move any other direction. So let's see if we can hit mate and mate this corner, or excuse me, this face with the inside face of here. So go up to constrain. We're going to select this face. We may have to zoom in, there you go, the face. Now we need to flip it around. Let's click the face here. And I'm going to hit apply. So if we hit cancel, you shouldn't be able to move this center piece. See how we're nice there? So let's take another gander from back. So we have our connector piece. We have, or it's not, yep, sorry, socket. Our socket piece, our windshield, and our inside place where our people go. We have that all connected. So now we need to find the inverse of this slot. Which more than likely is on the other side of this piece. So we grab one of our T9 connector 2s. By the way, if you move your mouse over here, so I'm not clicking on anything, but I'm just running it over these words, you can see it pops up with the correct piece that it's associated with, and vice versa. If you move your cursor just over a part here, notice on the left hand side in your browser it shows you front 1. And so that's an easy way to figure out if you're trying to delete constraints later on because things aren't working. That's a good way to figure out what's linked to what. So if we rotate our view, we notice that this cavity will fit on top of this piece. So if you want to think about it, the male piece is our inner base. We need to find the female piece, which is this one. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to click constrain. I want to click this face. So see right underneath the dialog, place constraints box. I'm going to click that face of our connector piece. And I am just going to rotate around and click the top inside face of our socket here. So we're looking pretty good there. With one move, we got it pretty much in position. I'm going to go ahead and hit apply. I'm going to hit cancel. So let's see, it's not really attached very well in there. So let's see if we can constrain it a little more to get it where we want to get it. Next step, we already mated the bottom, so we can't really mate this top piece. But let's try and constrain and grab this face here. Let's grab this face here and see what happens. So it's not going to let us do anything with that. Let's hit cancel. Let's try something different. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to hit constrain. I'm going to select this face and try and find our inside component of our base here. Let's click this. And it's not going to move there. If we hit apply, it says there's an issue. So we're going to hit cancel. And it looks like I need to wrap up this video. So if it were me, I'm going to find this connector 2 on the left hand side. It lit up red right here, so we know that's our part. I'm going to go ahead and click that. Right click the mate component and hit delete. So we're going to stop here for this video. Go ahead and check out video number 2 and I'll show you how we fix the problem we're in.